What would you do if someone destroyed the one thing you poured your heart and soul into, all because of a fleeting moment of rage? For me, that question became reality on a sweltering July afternoon in 2025, when my meticulously restored 1967 Chevy Camaro became the target of a woman named Karen's unhinged fury. This isn't just a story about a car, it's about passion, betrayal, and the bitter cost of vengeance. Buckle up, because this tale swerves through twists of rage, redemption, and a gut-wrenching end that left me questioning everything. My name is Jamal Carter, a 32-year-old mechanic with a knack for breathing life into vintage cars. The Chevy was my pride, my sanctuary, a gleaming red beast I'd spent 3 years and every spare dime restoring. Every bolt, every curve of its chrome, was a testament to my late father, who taught me to love cars before cancer stole him away. That car wasn't just metal. It was memory, a rolling tribute to the man who raised me. I'd park it outside my small auto shop in a quiet Atlanta suburb, where it drew admiring glances and the occasional jealous glare. But I never imagined it would spark a firestorm. It started with Karen Mitchell, a 40-something real estate agent known around town for her sharp tongue and entitlement. She'd been a regular pain, complaining about my shop's eyesore signs or the noise of my tools. I brushed it off. Small business owners deal with Karens all the time. But on that fateful day, she stormed into my lot, her face redder than my Chevy's paint. Apparently, I'd parked too close to her Lexus in the shared lot, though I was well within the lines. "You're ruining my day, Jamal," she shrieked, her voice carrying like a siren. I offered to move the car, keeping my cool, but Karen wasn't here for solutions. She was here for war. Before I could react, she grabbed a tire iron from a nearby workbench. Time slowed as she swung it, the metal glinting in the sun before it crashed into my Chevy's hood. The crunch was sickening, like bones breaking. She didn't stop. The side mirrors, headlights, windshield, all shattered under her frenzy. Customers gasped. My apprentice, Mia, froze with a wrench in hand. I lunged to stop her, but Karen was a whirlwind, screaming about disrespect and teaching me a lesson. By the time I wrestled the tire iron away, my car was a mangled wreck, and Karen stood panting, triumphant, oblivious to the crowd filming her meltdown. The aftermath was chaos. Police arrived, and Karen's story unraveled faster than a bad lie. She claimed I'd provoked her, but the videos told a different tale. Posted on X within hours, they spread like wildfire. Karen bashes Chevy trended with hashtags like "Justice for Jamal's car." The internet tore her apart. Memes, rants, even a remix of her screams set to heavy metal. I was furious but conflicted. The car was my heart, but watching Karen's life implode felt hollow. She was charged with vandalism and property damage, facing thousands in fines and potential jail time. Her real estate business tanked as clients fled. Public backlash was relentless, and I almost pitied her. Almost. Then came the twist I never saw coming. A week later, a stranger named Elena Torres knocked on my shop's door. She was a quiet woman in her 50s, with tired eyes and a nervous smile. "I saw what happened," she said, clutching a worn photo. "I know Karen." My stomach tightened. Elena wasn't just a bystander, she was Karen's estranged sister. She revealed a side of Karen I hadn't imagined. A woman spiraling after a bitter divorce, drowning in debt, and battling untreated bipolar disorder. "She wasn't always like this," Elena whispered, showing me the photo of a younger Karen, laughing with her kids. "She's broken, Jamal. I'm not excusing her, but she's human." Elena's words hit like a punch. I cast Karen as the villain, but now I saw cracks in that narrative. She wasn't just a caricature. She was a person unraveling under pressures I couldn't fathom. Elena begged me to consider dropping the charges, not for Karen's sake, but for her 2 teenage kids, who were now caught in the crossfire of their mother's public shaming. I didn't know what to feel: anger, sympathy, or both. My Chevy was still a wreck, my dad's memory tarnished, but could I let Karen's kids pay for her sins? I wrestled with that question for days. The internet demanded blood, cheering for Karen's downfall. My friends urged me to press charges, saying she deserved it. But Elena's story gnawed at me. I met Karen's kids, Marcus and Lila, at a coffee shop. They were quiet, ashamed, nothing like their mother's bravado. Marcus, barely 16, apologized for her, his voice cracking. Lila clutched a sketchbook filled with drawings of cars, beautiful, detailed sketches, including one of my Chevy before it was destroyed. "Mom's not okay," she said softly, "but she loves us." I saw my younger self in them, kids caught in a storm they didn't create. I decided to compromise. I wouldn't drop the charges, but I'd push for a plea deal. Restitution and community service instead of jail. Karen would have to face consequences, but her kids wouldn't lose their mom entirely. I also started a crowdfunding campaign to restore my Chevy, using the viral attention for good. The response was overwhelming. Donations poured in, along with messages of support from strangers. Mia, my apprentice, spearheaded the rebuild, pouring her own heart into it. The shop became a hub of hope, a contrast to the rage that started it all. But here's where the story turns bitter. A month later, I got a call from Elena. Karen had disappeared. She'd skipped her court date, left her kids with Elena, and vanished. No note, no explanation, just a trail of debts and a trashed reputation. The police suspected she'd fled to avoid the charges, but no one knew where. Marcus and Lila were devastated, their fragile hope shattered. I felt like I'd been gutted. I tried to do right by them, to balance justice with mercy, but Karen's cowardice left us all in the dust. The internet moved on, the hashtags faded, but the wreckage remained. Not just my car, but 2 kids' trust in their mother. The Chevy's restoration continued, but it wasn't the same. Every weld, every coat of paint, carried a shadow of that day. I'd see Lila's sketches in my mind, her love for cars mirroring my own, and wonder if I'd failed her somehow. Elena took the kids in, and I offered Marcus an apprenticeship to keep him busy, to give him something to hold on to. He's got my dad's spark, that quiet passion for machines, but his eyes carry a weight no kid should bear. In the end, the Chevy rolled out of the shop, gleaming under the Georgia sun, more beautiful than ever. The crowd cheered, cameras flashed, and for a moment, I felt whole. But as I slid into the driver's seat, the leather cool against my skin, I couldn't shake the emptiness. Karen's rage had cost me my car, but her disappearance cost her kids a mother. The public's wrath had fueled justice, but it also fed a cycle of pain. I'd wanted to rebuild more than a car. I'd wanted to rebuild faith in myself, in others. Instead, I was left with a bitter truth. Some things once broken stay that way. As I drove the Chevy down the highway, the engine's roar filling the silence, I thought of my dad. He'd always said cars were like people, scarred, imperfect, but worth saving. I wondered if he'd say the same about Karen, or if some people are too far gone. The road stretched ahead, endless and uncertain, just like life. I pressed the gas, chasing the horizon, but the weight of that day clung to me, a reminder that even in victory, some losses cut too deep to heal. Nd.